slow parenting family from across the globe. Thank you so very much for joining us to be part of our show today, as always. My name is Richie Adewusi. Welcome. Is that time of the day, that time of that day of the week? Every week on Wednesdays, 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, US and Canada, and 7 p.m. West African time, including Nigeria, that will come to you with your weekly tonic and nuggets for your parenting jobs. So welcome. Today we're going to be looking at issues about communication. Everything is still communication, yes, within the family. But then what modes do these communication processes or rather relationships take? How do we handle family decisions? How do we handle family discussions? How do we handle family responsibilities that arise or that evolve from the discussions we've had and then the actions we have to take? So today we are looking at the issue of third parties in family relationships. Okay, we use the insurance motive, the insurance analogy for this purpose. But then it is what it is. We'll see how much or not it relates to the issue of insurance. But we can relate with that. We can relate with the third party arrangement when it comes to insurance for property, cars, or whatever. We know, or even if we don't, we'll get into all of that. Okay, stay with us. We'll be back. Don't go away.
Is very, very absurd. It's not acceptable. I don't think it's right for the parents or any parent to be purposely, intentionally excluded from that kind of ceremony. The only concrete justification is when that parent dies. And of course, if the parent dies, in case of the father, for instance, the family of the father, anybody from that side can do the function of the father. For you to purposely exclude the father of the bride, the father of the groom, on that particular day is not something that can work on any day, anytime.
Okay, welcome back. Now, third-party insurance policy. The very interesting thing about third-party insurance arrangement is that you that you're paying for the policy, you're not covered. Okay, you're not covered. And what do we mean by you're not covered? In case you still don't know, you say, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't own a car. I don't. Fine, we'll get into that. We'll explain that. Okay, say you go to buy a car now because it's mandatory that you have an insurance policy to cover your car. In most places, because people don't want to pay so much in doing comprehensive insurance coverages, they choose to go for, well, the one that seems to be less expensive, the third party arrangement. And what does that mean? It means that, well, if, say, for instance, you are trying to reverse and then you bump into somebody else's car or property and it's damaged, yours might also be damaged, yes, but then guess what? The insurance company, if they are going to make any payments at all, would only cover the damages that you caused to the other car or to the other person's property. No matter the extent or level of your own damage or the damages that your own car or your own property might have suffered or experienced or gotten into, you're not covered. You would have to bear the cost for fixing, getting whatever it is out, getting whatever it is fixed again, getting whatever it is repaired and up and running again on your own. So, how does this relate to parenting? What's the relationship here? Today we are looking at the whole issue of outsourcing your family discussions, your family decisions, and in some cases, your parental responsibilities to third parties. And to also then look at what are your benefits from such. Okay? We'll leave you to be the judge if you do have any benefits. But because we won't leave you guessing perpetually, we'll tell you how much of such outsourcing you should do or not do at all for the benefit of your family bonding, family growth and development. Okay? So today, it's about asking you, who do you listen to when you have to make decisions in your family? Do you listen to your partner? Do you listen to your immediate family members, as in your spouse, your children? Or do you belong to the category of people that's okay, wait, let me go and ask pastor? Or wait, let me go to Dr. Mr. X, who is a therapist. So I have nothing wrong with therapists. I am one. But then, depending again on training, depending again on experiences, there are issues that you keep away from therapists, even. Okay? So let's get into this. We'll get into it. First, be very intentional about not making it a habit to go to third parties as first option for discussions about your family issues. Be intentional of not making it a habit that you want to discuss something, there's an issue in your family. The first thing you do is you remember a pastor, you remember a friend, you remember a colleague, maybe even another relation outside of your immediate family that you first go to. It's okay. That's one. What are the issues here? Are you going to that third party because you really don't know what to say or do? You're confused, or you don't have sufficient information to take decision or to discuss it. Remember, we're not talking about discussions. Okay? We want to discuss something, but then you choose not to discuss it with your spouse, with your children, with your family. You first go to discuss with third parties. The third parties will give you their position, their opinions, their perspectives based on their own learnings and experiences. And of greater danger is people often do have their own agenda, when they know that certain individuals depend or rely on them for advice or counsel. So it's not unlikely that the feedback you will get from that discussion with that third party might, one, be that person's position, that what he or she wants you to do, that might be to his or her benefit and might have nothing really to benefit you about. I remember I asked, the question was, is it that you don't have enough information? You are confused, in terms of going ahead to have that discussion with your immediate family? Is it that you don't have information? Okay, you're seeking information, then you want to go ahead. Or you already have a position and you conclude that, well, having that discussion with your family member, you will know what responses you are going to get. Then you do the next one now, which is the next question. Or is it that you are looking for an external rubber stamp, an external endorser in whatever guise, whatever professional garment the person might be wearing, so that when you now go back to make that conversation or have that discussion in your family setting, you are now quoting that third party. Either way, it's not in your interest. It's better you have open, sincere, uninhibited discussion within your family setting with your spouse, with your children, and commit every one of the blunders. Be free. It's your family. Make the mistakes. I'm lucky enough you will have a family member home and point them out to you. That wouldn't mean that if talk nonsense. No, not talk nonsense. You should be glad that the correction or the observation or feedback are coming from your family, immediate family, your nuclear family. You keep it in the family. It wouldn't be like, oh no, I know what they're going to say, no, so let me go. And then you now go. That person, oh, okay, well, oh well, I wouldn't take that. That person might most likely be taking more than what he's telling you I wouldn't take in his or her own circumstance or situation. He's just looking for new members for his or her club to grow, to be in his or her same kind of situation. And you didn't know that. And you thought that genuinely, or it's just something that third party does for a living. No, the pastor. Yeah, sure. I love pastors. Yeah, sure. Okay, preach. Okay. But then we have had situations where people brainwash. Okay. We have a situation where people brainwash others based on their own motives. So now go back and then instead of solutions, you have more problems within the family. At this point, I'm welcoming Professor Oyewole Saru. Professor Saru, you're welcome to the program. Thank you for joining us at this time. Hello, Professor Sarumi. All right, maybe he's still having some audio issues. Okay, so.
Sorry.
Okay, Professor Sarumi, you're welcome to the program. Thank you for joining us.
I was trying to look at my audio.
So, settle down. Yeah, I thought so.
Good evening, everybody. Yeah.
You're welcome. Sorry. You're welcome. All right. So we are looking at the issue of, family, parents actually now specifically, relying on third parties for family discussions, family decisions, and in some cases, responsibilities. Okay. And of course, there would always be a need to have some third-party service, okay, for family members. Let's say doctors, for instance, medical doctors, for instance. Somebody is ill, fine. It's also useful to seek counsel and therapy. Yes, for specific issues. Yes, we agree to. But we're saying when you now make it a habit that to have a discussion that you should freely have with your family, with your spouse, and maybe with your children as a family. You feel it's better to first go, well, take instructions from a third party and then come back to have that discussion. That's the bait we're saying you should watch out for. Professor Wale, welcome. That's the backdrop to our show today. How should parents handle having to make third parties the sources, sole sources, or main sources for the content of their discussions, decisions at home?
Basically, thank you for the question. Basically, it will depend on the context. If the parents are already, on the opposite side, it might be necessary to bring in a third party. But then that shouldn't be the norm. Normally, the two of them, they value themselves and appreciate themselves and love themselves. That's why they came together to become parents. And so whatever must have happened in terms, because one of the problem of between parents that really happen based on research is basically communication. Once communication ceases, and communication could be divided into four, depending on the situation. It could be lack of communication, it could be miscommunication, it could be under communication, and it could be over communication. So all of those will depend on the family background and what have you. So definitely, if they spoke to themselves and love themselves, they should be able to find a common ground, because they are coming from different background. Definitely, there will be a lot of difference. But then they have decided to come together as husband and wife. That's why they are now parents. They should be able to bury their ego and whatever personality differences that may have come up as a result of so-called maturity and being wiser or whatever. They should be able to bury that, and then for the sake of the family and the children, resolve their differences, talk together. It is only when it's becoming very toxic and dangerous for all the parties there that third parties, all the three parties there, children, father and mother, that a third party should be sought after. But that shouldn't be the first option at all, from my own perspective, unless it is a debilitating challenge like health, and then probably emotional turbulence and imbalance. They may need therapy, and then they may need counsel based on what you have said. Sometimes also, they may need marriage coaching also. So quite a lot of things could come up. So, but my take is that parents should be able to, sort out their differences so that they can together agree on how to, help their children to become better individual in life and be able to, at least give that child a better channel for him or her to start looking up to, so that it can become fitted into the world. So that's what I would just say to start with.
Thank you so very much, Professor Adewusi. Now, you mentioned ego. You mentioned not as first instance. Now, when the ego, before you came on, I asked two questions. One is as a parent, is an individual, a mother, a father, going to look for or going to seek counsel from a third party because that individual lacks sufficient information? Let's not even talk about skills. It might be there, it might be part of it, to have an open, sincere, uninhibited conversation or discussion with his or her family. That's number one. Is that the reason you feel you don't have enough? And it's a third party that should have enough to give you before you now go back to have the discussion. That's number one question I asked. Number two is, or are you going to seek counsel because you already have a position and you are looking for a rubber stamp? You're looking for an endorser. You're looking for a third party to quote, to say, this is the reason why this is what needs to be done. Each of those positions, how much would they help any family, for instance, Professor?
Well, basically, if already any of the parents already have a position and they are looking for the third party to, to rubber stamp, or at least to help with decision making, when father and mother cannot come to a joint decision, that might not be the best situation. That is quite that would be a toxic situation where you are justifying yourself and you are saying that you are right, and you are just looking for somebody to to support you. And if you are the one who chose such an adjudicator, definitely that person might also be biased. So I think, like I said, when decision is being taken and when the two of you cannot come to a decision and you cannot agree on anything, you should seek third party, not based on the fact that you want the third party to justify that you are the one who is right. Because when it comes to issue of parents and children, it is not who is right now. It is what is right for the home and for the family that needs to be done. That is the major thing. And sometimes, if you do go to a third party, you might be the one who is at fault, or maybe your opinion might not be the one that the third party will agree with based on his or her own experience and perception of the situation, and then be able to counsel you. And one thing is that you are not even banned unless it is a legal something. That's when you are banned. If it's just a counsel, therapy, or whatever, you are not bound to obey it. But then if you do take yourself there, then you should be ready to at least compromise and ensure that
compromise. I like that.
You agree
Let
by
me
the
see,
time.
you're compromising on your family's positions, on your values, on maybe even your culture, or maybe even your tradition, which are the things we have advocated for that on this program, for parents and families should be careful about. Remain within your family values. Remain, and first of all, do your family members know what those values are? Do they know what the boundaries? Professor Wale, has always talked about set the boundaries. Okay, boundary setting. Yes, in
Yeah,
family
we
situation.
talked about that.
Yes, Professor. So I want us to now talk about that issue of boundary setting when it comes to having to go to third parties to discuss family issues or take seek advice in quote to take family decisions. What kind of boundaries or what should couples now, or even the children, because as you rightly put it the other time, there are three parties now. Well, for ease of this discussion, let's say three parties. There are no three parties in any home. There is one family. Okay, so you're not looking at the parent, the father.
It's just for convenience. It's just for
I understand.
convenience that
Yes, I understand.
I'm taking each of them one after the other, because
Yes.
once the children, then you have the man and the woman, and then the man and the woman is not agreeing. So they are not three parties. That's why
I get that. So in terms of boundaries now, when it comes to dealing with third parties, what position should couples take? Professor.
in terms of boundary.
Yes, in terms of setting boundaries, in terms of
that will depend on what boundaries they have both agreed initially. Because sometimes when problem do comes, you might flout that boundaries because of anger, annoyance, emotion disturbances and what have you. But then if the couples, young couples nowadays are not patient. That's the challenge. Most young couples are not patient, but the older couples, they have seen a lot, and so they are quite a lot of they are quite patient. That's my views when it
okay.
comes to new couples, the Gen Zs now.
Mm.
Most of them, they are not patient at all. They want the partner to be perfect. They want the partner to do this. They want the partner to, not knowing that it is not the partner you are to change. It is you that you need to change. Because marriage involves tolerance, adaptability, and sometimes you take some shits. I can use that word. Sometimes just for the sake of relationship and what have you, and then also for the sake of the family overall. But then with the kind of lifestyle we have now in the 21st century, where people are talking about liberation, and then all of those what do you call it now? All of those
rights issues, human
all those
right.
you understand all of those things that now that's why it's quite because I've seen quite a lot of Gen Z married that are not working well. But the first 2-3 years it works. After 5-7 years, the thing is already shaking and they are already tired.
Prof, I'm sorry to come in at
No
this.
problem, go ahead.
Sorry. Now you're saying you've seen some Gen Z that didn't, well, I wouldn't think that things working out in families or marriages or homes or not working out can be attributed to any particular generation. We've had challenges from our own parents, their own parents, and all of that. And we have examples of those that we've seen. I just think that, in the last episode, we were like, this whole issue of it's just like the gender thing. They are just socially constructed, classes that are now, people are now using to excuse their behavior, unacceptable, behaviors, which in most cases run counter to family tradition, culture, family values, ethics, etiquettes, and all of that. We saw, after all, how well is Gen Z. So because you are born in a particular time period means you must misbehave? No, I don't think that works. That would work, because again, it's a time bomb. that person that says, or those people that say, because I am born within this time period, that is my excuse or my certificate for behaving, antisocial. You are going to have your own children. And all of us pray to have long life. You are going to live to see your children's children. Remember, you've gotten sold on the gen, so they will still find a name for your children, what their generation will be called, and what the generation of your grandchildren will be called. Now, when they now start exhibiting character traits and behavior that are contrary to even what we recoil, at now, what would you do? Okay, the Bible. I'm a Christian, yes, and I quote the Bible. That's what I know. The Bible says we should not remove the what? The ancient landmarks. Should not destroy it. So when we've now gone to go and because that's still part of this whole third party thing now becomes prevalent. They are all packaged in therapies. In the title, in the wrapping, packaging therapist, or you need to go see a therapist. Who is the therapist? What are his or her own experiences? Okay? And, especially the non-professional ones, but then they can always be your go-to persons. So if we now destroy traditional things, Prof, we're still saying, what are the boundaries? What should determine the boundaries for involving others? What should be the things? I mean, you're talking about universal standards now in families that to say, okay, look at this. Okay, we lost Prof. Wale there. In determining when it should become necessary at all to consult outsiders. If they are on health grounds and you're going to meet health professionals, beautiful. If they are on specific professional issue areas, fine. If it's on your relationship, okay, there are so many people out there now who call themselves relationship counselors, relationship therapists. People cannot give what they do not have. Okay? People can give what they do not have. Make it a habit to make your point within your family environment. Everyone might not always agree with you. I'll use myself as an example. At home, people would, my family would be like, okay, Dad, this, I'll listen. But usually, there's an expectation that I should take action immediately about whatever it is that had been discussed. I noticed that over time, but I still made it a point to say, look, it's not that I didn't hear or I don't agree with what you said. I processed it. It's not that what you said don't make sense, but we process it and would, in most cases, action will be taken along those lines of, if we did it this way, maybe it will be better. It will happen. But in some cases, it's like, oh, it didn't happen immediately. No, it doesn't have to happen immediately, depending on what the issue is. It doesn't happen, and that should not become a reason for which we substitute family discourses with third-party instructions, because that's what they are. mostly, especially for that family member who is looking for a rubber stamp. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, Professor, welcome back. We lost you there.
Yeah, sorry. No problem.
It's okay, sir.
Yeah,
So we're saying, especially for that family member who is looking for a rubber stamp. Okay?
to authenticate.
To authenticate a position.
Their own mindset.
Yes. And in most cases, the rubber stamps already know that that is what you want. They have been dealing with you. They've been relating with you. So more often than not, they validate your position and you go back. Okay? They validate your position and you go back.
Well, it might not or go well with the other party, the other parent.
Yes.
And that might not really even resolve the problem. In my language, they just said is benekun. That is the thing just you are just piling it up until it will burst. So it is best to come out of your shell and resolve it, rather than look for a validator who is just going to give you something like palliative. Palliative is something that you take instead of, that will not affect the
root cause of the problem.
Disease, the root cause of the disease. So definitely. So if any of the parents take to that, then the interest of the family is not paramount. It's basically personal interest. And in this case, sometimes, most cases, parents will need to leave their own personal interest and then look at the interest of the family. Let that override any of our decisions, so that we can be able to bring up our children in the way of the Lord and in the way that will make them to become fit to the life that is ahead of them. But I believe that if you are seeking third party, it should be mainly for mental health, or you have
professional, real professional help. Okay,
yes,
medical reason,
mental health, or legal something.
Okay.
Those are the reason why we need to be seeking third party. But then also, apart from going that route, you might also seek third party from elders, depending on the kind of situation that you want to resolve. Because some elders are quite knowledgeable. I'm not talking of mental health now. Probably
relationship issues generally.
Yes, things that really concern the family in terms of relationship and all of those. And so, even sometimes parents of the couple might even come in, depending on the situation, and be able to help them through. But then looking for validator in order for you to be able to say you are always right is not going to help the family, because I'm looking at the family. Once the family is not at ease, then navigating a wrong chord is not going to help at all. The best is to, take the bull by the horn and then sit yourself down and talk together and tell the other party where he or she is wrong, and then everybody accept their fault and then be ready to make amends, and for the sake of the family. Unless you are no more interested in the family, you are just pretending, and we are just using excuses to pretend. But if the family is paramount, then definitely there is no need to be looking for validator in order for you to start saying that I'm the one who is right. No, when it comes to family issues, it's not whether I'm right or wrong. It is basically that what is right for the family.
So very much.
What is right for the family.
Thank you so very much, Professor. You've rightly said family elders. What does family elders represent? We're still going back. It's still the same thing about culture, about tradition. Family elders will not give you counsel or advice outside of what your culture or your tradition, your family value, okay, has already been known for. Okay, so if you now go into third parties outside of all of this, your culture, your tradition, your family value, your family etiquette, you are opening yourself up for more confusion, more stress, because first of all, whether it's the mother or the father, or even in the case of the children, we have had cases where children go to seek counsel and they come back and tell their parents, well, my pastor said, I will open the Bible. Okay, let's read the Bible. What does the Bible say? There's a difference between my pastor said and the Bible says. There are two different things. Except for where the pastor's position or counsel is in line with what the scriptures say. That's it. That's on that part. But more often than not, people speak and counsel based on
Their own experience,
their own experiences, their own personal agendas,
agenda. Yeah.
their own purposes for that individual, for you as an individual, for your family. But like Professor Wille has said, you must think about your family first, over and above yourself. Sacrifice. If not for, okay. And we keep saying, I had a chat with a young person earlier today, and then it was, I want to go to a particular program, and I'm like, why do you want to do this program? Oh, because my friends are there. Your friends. Don't get into things because your friends are in it. The third party situation we're talking about, people, some of us, rely on what our friends say to us about circumstance, about situation, even the ones in our homes. Some of them might actually be in worse kind of scenarios than maybe the ones you are going to share with them. The question you ask yourself is, first, how much of this person's issues that he or she brought to me, even if that person has been bringing his or her own family issues to you, what is the quality of the feedback you give to that person? How much has your counsel helped that person in that situation? Or the feedback you give is to keep that your relationship so that you can have a gossip partner, whether you're male or female. I'm gender blind when I mention the word gossip. Okay, men gossip too. Okay, so people sometimes want people to join their clubs, meaning get into their experience areas, issue areas, their challenges, kind of challenges they have. They want people to be there so they can have those discussions and continue and have more members. Not that they want to help you solve your situation. So, because you want to go to some place, have some discussion because those people are your friends, what are their experiences concerning what you are going to share with? Like we said at the top of this program, you are better off having that discussion within your family environment. Make the mistakes. People will learn from it. Your own experiences also would have improved from however that situation would have handled. Now, let's move away from discussion to decisions now. You have discussed, okay? That's another area, Professor. You actually do have family discussions. Start with your family member, your spouse, your children. You have had a discussion about a particular family issue. And you've all agreed on a position as a family. Then one of you now go to seek a third-party opinion. Professor.
No, that is not acceptable. That is unacceptable within the family relationship, especially when there is open communication. That's not acceptable. That if that happens, then the person who broke that code should be asked what happened, what changed after we have agreed, because that will look like betrayal or that there was deception on the part of that individual, and that is quite a sour taste for the other to really bear. And if that is not nip at the bud and quickly cleared, it can become a cankerworm that will be moving around in that family. They will lose trust, and that will not be the best. So, if there has been an agreement and there was open communication, then everybody needs to stick to that. If not, you are already breaking family, and then you are also discarding trust. And once trust is broken, it will take ages for you to be, rebuilt back. So that's the.
Thank you so very much, sir. It's important, like the professor said, just to reiterate that you have sat down as a family, as a couple. You have had a discussion about an issue, family issue. You've agreed on a position. If you have a second thought, who should you come back? That is it.
Come back.
That
Call another conference.
Call another meeting.
Another conference. That's it now.
Yes. Come, stay back. Okay, say, sorry. We agreed the other time, yes. But I just thought, okay, what is not you now say, okay, this is what we discussed. Sir, I come to see you, Pastor. Thank you. Sorry, I'm using pastors, but because, well, I'm a Christian again, come to mind easily for such, okay, situations. I discussed with my daddy, and they said, oh, really? Your daddy said that? Why? Confusion. That in that third party you are going to would not have had all the sides that led to all the sides of the discussion that led to the decisions you arrived at. So the people who were at that conference, as Professor Yewale would say or said earlier on, the people who are participants in that original discussion should be the ones to be, consulted again. You say, well, we agreed on this earlier, but I'm just thinking that, asking if we can look at it this way. Just please, let's just look at this way again. Just give it a second thought, second look. Even if they say no, okay, you are better off with their no than an alternative position from a third party. Like Professor Wale has said, it will bring about trust issues. It will bring anger issues. It will bring reluctance for other family members to participate in decision-making processes in the family. Because it will be like, what's the need? You know where you go to get your instructions. And that is not good for any family. It's not good for any family. Then, of course, the partners involved, the family members involved, everyone has a role to play to help keep discussions, decisions, and responsibilities within the family. Everyone. Sorry, Prof. You are breaking there. Okay, we've lost Professor Wally. Now, every family member, every member in a family, nuclear family, has a responsibility to ensure that discussions, decisions, and responsibilities are kept within the family. When your family members come, when you have to discuss an issue, are you an active participant, or are you just, someone who just sits there to be counted that you are there? And then later, it's like, well, they don't do what I want. If you do not air your views, if you do not state your issues, people will not know. They can't enter you to know. They can't get inside of you to know what you think. So it's always useful to air your views when you're having family discussions. No matter how primitive your position might sound to you first, or to any other family member, that's your contribution. They can help you polish it to make it digital. If it's primitive, they can help you to digitize it. Okay, in terms of make it more acceptable. They're your family members. They have your back. You should also have their back by being involved. Now, when you now finally have had those discussions and then you have arrived at a decision, don't take family decisions for granted. Because number one, we've already talked about there are family members who don't like to say anything when family meetings are being held, even if it's father, mother, child. You might have one of them that might be like, they will never do what I say. No. Because you feel that they will never do what you say, must not be a reason why you not keep saying. Say, so that it is not recorded for you to say, but you didn't say anything. Say your bit. Then when the decision is taken, if you still do not agree to the decision, state it. Let it be on record. And when you guys were saying we should do this or go this way, I said I might have a challenge. I wasn't listened to. You have a point. They will look at you and say, why, that's true. He did say he's not in total agreement. Okay, sorry, it has gone this way. In most cases, that's what you will get. You will get an apology. It's still within the family. You are healing, you are mending, you are bonding. But when you bring third-party counsel into decisions that have already been taken, you make family members feel inconsequential, unimportant. You'll be belittling yourself and your family members. So you don't do that. You don't do that. We are not talking about medical opinions now. We're not talking about legal opinions, because of course legal opinion is not you giving the opinion. You be a lawyer. Medical opinion, you're not a doctor, your husband is not a doctor. Well, even if they are, well, they will give your opinion as you can seek, or you can say you want a second position, opinion. You can do that. But then declare it to the hearing of your family members. Okay, we have had this discussion, we have decided on this. Is it okay if I go to ask them? Don't go secretly. Is it okay if I go to pastor and see if maybe he has something different to say to us about this? Is it okay if I go to daddy or grandpa or grandma to ask what we're taking this decision? They're still, it concerns them. Okay, we need to find out how they will take it. So can I go and talk to them? You agree. If your family member said no, we have agreed, here is us, we've agreed, stay with that decision of no, don't go. Which then means that you shouldn't on any account on your own, father, mother, children, go on, take a decision you've made in your family to third parties to say, well, this is what they say we should do. Do you think I should do it? Wrong. That's a recipe for disaster in the family. That's an anti-bonding recipe or ingredient in that recipe for family. Stay with your family discussions. Stay with your family decisions. Play your part in assigned responsibilities out of family discussions, out of family decisions. Play your part. Carry your responsibilities. Don't look for third parties to help you with your responsibilities for your family. Especially where third party opinion or contribution would create more problem. If it's for money issues, for instance, sometimes people have gone to go borrow money to play certain family roles. And their partners do not know. If you have to, discuss it. Discuss it, because when issues arise from you going to borrow money from somewhere else to, yes, play your family role, yes. Your partners, your family members will be impacted. So they should know. They should discuss, they should tell them. Okay? So I think we've had some technical issues concerning Professor Wally, so we will not be able to have him give us his closing remarks concerning the program. But in closing here, as I round up here, please be careful about, as a matter of fact, avoid, not be careful, avoid having to seek third-party inputs in your relationship issues within your family. Because one of those issue areas from those two first questions I asked at the top of the program, are you going because you don't have enough information or experience to ask for what should I say? Or are you going for because you know what to say, you have an opinion, you decided on what to say, but you are looking for somebody that will pump you up to say, go and say it. Neither of the two would help you in your family bonding, in your relationship with your children, in your relationship with your spouse. No, none of the two. Because the third parties, for instance, would always tell you things from their own position, their own learning, their own experiences, which might not be exactly the same with your own situation. We're not saying don't have friends. We're not saying don't have general discussions with your friend, but when it comes to issues of major family challenges, still keep it in the family, unless, like has been said in the course of the program, Professor you only mentioned it, unless there are health challenges, then you are looking for professional, opinions and remedies. Even in the issues of mental health, sometimes conflicting counsel, conflicting opinions from your position can bring about mental health challenges, both for you and your family members. It'll be like, why does this person always take our issue outside? And when you say mental health, it's not until they put chains and straight jackets on you that you have mental health. Could just be you can't think straight, because there's no celebrate your success. Yes. They put chains and have general discussions with your friend, but when it comes to issues of major family challenges, still keep it in the family, unless, like has been said in the course of the program, Professor you only mentioned it, unless there are health challenges, then you are looking for professional, opinions and remedies. Even in the issues of mental health, sometimes conflicting counsel, conflicting opinions from your position can bring about mental health challenges, both for you and your family members. It'll be like, why does this person always take our issue outside? And when you say mental health, it's not until they put chains and straight jackets on you that you have mental health. Could just be you can't think straight, because there's noise up there trying to process why a family member would choose to trust, because we're coming back to the issue of trust. Professor Wally said it, and that's on that note I'm rounding. Going means you trust the opinions and positions of outsiders over and above the opinions and positions of your family members. Don't do that. It wouldn't help. It would destroy personal relationships. Your children are watching. As they grow, mom always goes to that person, or dad always goes to find out from, okay, why? There's nothing wrong with that. My mom did it. If mom did it, doesn't mean that that's supposed to be right. In your own home now, keep it together. Keep it in the family. Have your discussions, have your decisions, carry out responsibilities, make your mistakes, correct yourselves, and then celebrate your success. Yes. The ones you get right, celebrate them. The ones you also didn't get right, discuss them. Correct yourselves in love. And on that note, I want to thank you all so very much for being part of our show today. Okay. And as you watch this video at whatever other time you get to watch it on YouTube, or you see clips from this program on any of our social media handle, please endeavor to, follow us, Please subscribe to this channel. Support us. Support the work we are doing. We appreciate you. Support us by subscribing. And don't forget to press that bell so that you get notifications from when we are coming on air or we are coming online to have another episode, of when there are new videos that have been uploaded on the slow parenting platforms across social media. As you subscribe, you will get those notifications, especially if you now activate the notification bell. Okay, and don't forget slow parenting on Nostalgia Media. It's always 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This time is still that way until maybe our time changes, or gets to change, and then we'll inform you. 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, US and Canada, and 7 p.m. West African time, including Nigeria, every Wednesday. Okay, join us live on YouTube. I repeat, live on YouTube. Today, some people have still tried to join us on Zoom. Please, the Zoom platform is just for the resource persons on the program. Okay, join us live on YouTube. We're live there as we're here. Thank you so much for being part of our show today. Remember, you can always leave us your comments. Okay, we'll respond. Thank you as we look forward to your joining us next week. Bye bye. My name is still Richie Adewusi. See you in the next one. Bye.
To every role, and no matter the best or the most noble of mirroring that we do modeling, sometimes they veer off. I know that there are exceptions.
Focus on quality time rather than